All right, let's talk about Jordan Love here going up, heated division matchup against the Chicago Bears. Obviously a historic rivalry, but also just an important game as they entered the game with less wins than the Bears, also the same amount of losses due to the Packers tie. But nonetheless, it was an important game. They won, and a big part of it was how well Jordan Love played in this one. Let's talk about what he did well. Also, there were some issues, really one main issue. We'll talk about that play and what went wrong there. Let's get into it. So first, let's start off with the play you see on your screen. It's going to be a design to roll out towards the bottom of the screen on a 3rd down and 1. You have, several routes going in that direction that you hope can potentially get open. Actually, the receiver's route is the one that you hope gets open, but you also will have, I guess they're technically both receiver routes, but the route that's further down the field is the one you hope gets open. Love takes the snap, he's looking down the field, and really it's the shallower route that you would like to throw to in this situation, the way everything has come up. The issue is he's under pressure and there's 2 Chicago players in the area. So honestly, you could justify just a throwaway in this scenario, but again, 3rd and 1, you don't want to throw it away. Watch Jordan Love, under pressure, makes a really nice throw, puts it exactly where you need to put it. Reed is able to make the grab, and they're able to pick up a completion. Move the chains. Those are important plays to be able to make, and Love was able to make that one. Heading over to this play, so this was the one, what are you doing, Jordan Love play, I guess. So it's a 3rd down and 17. However, it's one of those weird scenarios where you can totally justify taking a chance here, right? Because a punt is going to do some good field position wise, but you're kind of in no man's land where it doesn't do the full value that you usually like from a punt. But obviously, you're not close enough that you can justify you can't try a field goal or anything. So ultimately, you can definitely justify going for, taking a chance. You see the concept on your screen. The Bears are going to play a deep coverage play, and I don't know what happens here. Jordan Love takes the snap, and what am I missing on this play? Did he just he must have just not seen that Chicago player. I don't know how. This is the weird thing about Love is, I think it was Ben Solak who tweeted it out, and I totally agree. It's like, it would be unfair to say that Jordan Love turns the ball over more than other quarterbacks. He's actually been pretty good at protecting the football this season. Like, that would be unfair to say. But it feels like his interceptions are the worst interceptions. Like, I don't get what happened. Watch as he throws it straight to a Chicago defender. Not an ideal situation there. So, again, not the worst thing in the world. It was 3rd and 7. They were going to have to give the ball away anyway with an incompletion, but it did help field position-wise, so which that kind of stuff matters. So definitely a mistake there from Love. But okay, now let's talk some positives, and quite frankly, there are plenty of positives to discuss with this one. One of the things that I think we have to mention is just the receivers winning. There's a good amount of receivers being able to win their one-on-one matchups, and if that happens, well, that just goes a long way. So, first, Christian Watson, him being back has really meant something to this team. It's a 3rd down and 10, in field goal range right here, but you want more. However, 3rd and 10, it's difficult. Chicago, they're going to send pressure. They're going to, play man coverage, so someone needs to win. Love takes the snap. He's going to, again, kind of do what he loves to do, which is kind of throw off the back foot. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback do that as often as Jordan Love likes to do it. But ultimately, there is a bit of a window. Again, if you can make the accurate throw, this can work. And watch this nice throw, nice catch, nice touchdown for the Green Bay Packers. And on a 3rd and 10, when, you're looking at that field goal, that turns it into a touchdown. That's a huge play right there. You also had this one, which is going to be a 2nd down and 10, 45 seconds left in the half, though. So for Chicago, again, you feel okay about, hey, let's just not give up a touchdown right here. Give up a field goal. Okay, not ideal, but not the end of the world. They're going to drop back and play zone coverage. And essentially what's going to happen is you see Bo Melton's route on the screen. When this play begins, watch Jordan Love and watch kind of his eyes and look at how much he is looking towards the left side of the screen. So what's happening is the safety who is covering the top half of the screen is following Love and looking away from the route going more over the middle. There's also on the bottom half of the screen, there's a safety there, but he's getting taken away with a setup route. So when Love then does scan over, he sees Melton, he makes the throw, and even with it being a touch underthrown, it's still a touchdown because it was so open, partially due to Love scanning the field very well. So really good stuff there by Green Bay entirely being able to make that work. And again, turning what would have been, maybe 3 into 7. Those are just huge plays. You also had this one, which this is the first down and 10, but still, nonetheless, tie game with 7 minutes left. The Bears have this nice comeback. They're able to tie things up, so got to make sure that you keep focused here. You see the concept on your screen. Again, it's one-on-one, which is what the Bears like to do. This is, again, Dennis Allen, what he did with the Saints for years and years was play man coverage. If you need safety help, put safety help over the top. But essentially, just trust that your defensive line is going to be able to stop the run and hope that your, defensive backs can cover one-on-one. Well, when Love takes the snap, it's going to be Jayden Reed on this play going over the middle. And again, this is not wide open, but there is a window. And here's the thing with this Packers receiving core is the critique has always been, well, who is their guy? Who can win one-on-one consistently? On 3rd and 7, who do you turn to? And the thing is, the Packers just turn to whatever the better matchup is. You don't necessarily need to have one guy who can match up and be able to beat anybody if you have, 5 guys who can play pretty well, and at a certain point, one of those guys is going to be a matchup advantage. Watch, Love puts this one right on the money, and that's the other factor is you don't need a big window because Love is just playing at a really high level right now. Again, you take away those 3 games that he didn't play great and their 3 losses, he's been lights out every other game this season, and he was once again lights out in this one. Now, heading over here, just throwing it up and giving your receiver a chance didn't always work. In fact, that's how some of the stops happened. I mean, that one, honestly, smart play by, that was Bo Melton again, who transitioned and played some corner, so I guess he has experience of knowing what to do. He just tackled the defensive back, who maybe would have had a pick had he not done that. It's a smart play. It's 3rd and 11. They're going to decline the penalty anyway, so just take the penalty. That's totally fine. And also, while we're talking about good stuff, let's just talk Josh Jacobs for a second. Why not? This is a 3rd down and 1. Huge play in the game. 5 minutes left. I mean, definitely want to be able to convert. Either way, you're probably going to look at, an opportunity to take the lead. Field goal isn't a guarantee, but, an opportunity to take the lead, but you want 7. Jordan Love is going to pitch this one back to Josh Jacobs right here. He is, this is looking tough and looking like you could lose some yards, and then everyone will say, oh, why do you pitch it back on 3rd and 1? Why not just run it up the gut? Well, here's why, because now you have Josh Jacobs in space. Watch him get around 3 defenders. Almost got around a 4th right there at the end there as well. Good tackling by Byard, although definitely Jacobs was close. Ultimately, he was able to get into the end zone shortly after for the score. So again, this is just how the Packers offense works when it's at its best, right? Is it's just a plethora of guys being able to be successful. It's not just one player, it's everyone, and everyone is succeeding, and Jordan Love's playing well. And again, if Jordan Love is going to be this Jordan Love, this team can win the Super Bowl. That is their ceiling. It's a Super Bowl champion. And maybe, Brett Favre was, 27, Aaron Rodgers 27, and now Jordan Love is currently 27. Rodgers and Favre won the Super Bowl when they were 27. Maybe Love will do the same. Who knows? Probably that's not the best way of thinking, but ultimately, give Jordan Love and this Packers offense a lot of credit for what they were able to do against Chicago. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.